Okay, for today, we are talking through some of the most missed questions on the top 20. So if you are listening to this because you missed today's class, it's okay. We will grade your top 20 when you get back to class. I'll give you a key for it, and you can grade that thing up and see how you did. Just so you guys know, the average score in here was about, I'm going to go with around a 9. Okay, and some of you are like, whoa, I thought my 11 was bad. Okay, no, the average is probably like a 9. And that means that I'm just hoping for growth. So whatever you had before, the highest score I have seen is 16. Anybody in here beat a 16? Okay. So the highest score I saw in anybody's test was a 16, which is like a B minus. So don't feel bad if you did bad. The point is, will you grow? Will you take the time to find out how to do these things? So I'm going to take some of the most missed here. Number 2 was asked about a lot. Okay, number 2 on this one looked like this. Page that will be able to see it better. Use a nice bright color on black background. It says 2x squared plus 8x minus 10 equals 0. Here's how you should have done this one. And pay attention, because I'm going to give you another one like it in a minute. You should have factored out the 2. Everybody should be able to take a 2 out of that. Go ahead and try that. Put the 2 in front. Because we had one on your first 20 that was just like this, that said factor out the GCF. That's what we're doing. Just take out the 2. But it's just that when we're done with this, we're not done. What's next? X squared plus what? 4x minus what? 5. And then you just have to factor it again. Remember me saying that this top 20 was a lot like the first 20, except with an extra step? So now that we get that 2 out, it's just one of these kinds where you got to factor it this way. X and X. Alex, I bet you can do it.
X plus 5.
Plus 5. And?
X
Minus 1. Now you sound confident. Can you tell me, does this for sure make the right answer?
Yeah.
Okay, you think so, right? Well, I'm checking it because I'm just going to multiply it out quick. X times the x makes x squared. That's what I wanted. The outside makes negative x. Inside makes 5x. Put them together, I got 4x. Yay, that's right. And last but not least, 5 times negative 1, negative 5. You are correct, sir. All right, so now that I know that, am I done? No. A lot of people stop right there, sadly. You're so close to the finish line. Now you just got to say what would make it equal 0. If x was what, and if x was what? X equals 1, because then it would make that part 0, which would make the whole thing 0. And x equals negative 5. Now, if that went too quick for you, here, I'll show you the long, slow way to do it. You go, x minus 1 needs to equal 0, and x plus 5 needs to equal 0. And then I'm going to add 1 to both sides. And then I'm going to subtract 5 from both sides. But either way, negative 5 would make it 0, and 1 would make it 0. So those are the two solutions. And by the way, these are such a big deal that they actually have 4 names. They're the roots, the zeros, the x-intercepts, and the solutions. Yes?
Would it still work if you did negative 5 and positive 1?
I think I just said that. Negative 5 and positive 1. Isn't that what I just...
I mean, like, when you're...
Oh, the factors. Okay, I think the question now is, could I have made this x minus 5 and this x plus 1? No, that would not work. Sorry, my clock is trying to give us a 12-minute warning, but for a different hour because today's all messed up time-wise, you know? So, we are done earlier than normal today, but not that early. Okay, so, bottom line answer is no, you could not have done that. Here's why. Because you would have had a negative 4x on the inside when you were done. Think about that. That minus 5 here would get times by the x, and you'd have minus 5x and positive 1x, which makes negative 4x. So that was the opposite of what you wanted. Okay? So it's an easy mistake to make, but nope, we couldn't do that. Okay, so there's an example. I'm going to give you one now that I want you to try. Everybody write this one down. See if you would be able to get this right this time. How many of you got it right already? Like you had it right in the first place on this test? Only 2 people. Okay, good job if you got this right already once. All right, so you ready? 3x squared plus 12x plus 9 equals 0. I'll pause for a second while you solve that. All right, so I've got a 3 factored out, and I get x squared plus 4x plus 3. And then I can get another factor, and x plus 3, x plus 1. Raise your hand if you had that one right. Awesome. Now, how do you finish? The factoring was the hard part. The easy part is finishing. Fishy.
You make it equal 0, so you get -3
-3 and -1. If I were to make a picture of it, my roots would be -1 and -3. And so this must be a parabola that goes like this. All right. So I've got the roots, the zeros, the x-intercepts, the solutions. There's 4 names for it. These are important. All right. How many of you feel like you might be able to do that next time this top 20 rolls around? Awesome. You're one step closer. And I want to remind you of this. If you have 9 things you don't know, well, maybe now you only have 8 things you don't know. Do you get it only takes me about 5 minutes to teach you one of these things? Okay, so if you end up leaving today with still 5 things you don't know, it just still take you one time in the morning. 5 minutes times 5 things is 25 minutes. You can know how to do these things. And that's powerful. There's not much else I can tell you that 25 minutes later, you can be significantly better at math. These basics are it. So let's get these all down so you can all get like 17 or 18 next time we take this thing. All right, so the next suggestion was problem, actually 11 was the next one that was brought up. Could you get your paper out? Would you read me number 11 so I can know what that one was?
x plus 6 squared equals 12.
Ah, yes. Okay. A lot of people think, oh, I know what I want to do. I want to multiply x plus 6 and x plus 6, and it's actually not wrong, but it's super slow. If you do that, you're going to have 4 parts to your answer, and then you got to subtract 12 from both sides because it needs to equal 0, so you got this big long quadratic, and then you try to factor it, and then it won't factor, and then you got to use quadratic formula. Even saying that took a long time. There's a lot faster way. Watch. I take square root of both sides. And once I have square root of both sides, this is absolute value of x plus 6. A lot of people are not going to remember that. Where'd that come from? Because we square rooted a variable. And do you remember that root 12 is really root 4 and root 3, which is 2 root 3? Okay. Now, this is the exact same thing that was on the first 20. And you have to know, absolute value, those split into 2 equations. X plus 6 is 2 root 3, and x plus 6 is negative 2 root 3. And if you're really fancy, you will realize that you're going to subtract 6 from both sides. And you can just say, so it's negative 6 plus 2 root 3 and negative 6 minus 2 root 3. So it's negative 6 plus and minus 2 root 3. I know I went really fast at the end there. Some of you probably followed that. If you didn't, I'm going to go slow and show you. You're going to subtract 6 from both sides, and you will have x equals negative 6 plus 2 root 3. And you'll subtract 6 from both sides, and you'll have negative 6 minus 2 root 3. And if you want to, you could put them together and say negative 6 plus and minus 2 root 3. Yes?
That is not the way that I did
And it's okay? You have a right answer?
it. Yes.
Okay, awesome. There is more than one way to do it, and I'm interested in hearing that other way, but I want to field any questions about this way first. Does anybody else have a question about this? All right, then I'm going to sidestep. You want to tell us a different way?
I used the quadratic formula.
All right, yep, that absolutely works. The quadratic formula for sure works. But remember, I was telling you that you'd have quite a few steps. And really, this only had first step, square root. Second step, this is actually just the answer to the square root, so it's not another step. Okay, so first step was the square root, and you get this. The second step was split it into two equations and solve them. If you're going to do the other way, did you do this? X plus 6 and x plus 6?
No.
All right.
I did
Tell me how you...
equals negative 12 plus or minus that equation. Plus or minus the square root of 12 squared minus 4 times 1 times 24.
All right. Like the idea, but what I'm trying to figure out is where did you get your a, b, and c? If you're going to do x equals negative b plus or minus square root b squared minus 4ac all over 2a.
I solved the x plus 6, that thing, and converted it to x squared, or solved it to be x squared plus 12x plus 36 equals 12.
Okay. Isn't that... Here, I'm going to back up. What you just said. Isn't that this right here, except
Yeah.
multiplied out?
Yeah.
Okay, so you multiplied it out. So I'm going to do that. X squared plus 6x plus 6x plus 36 equals 12. And then what?
And then I did x squared plus 12x plus 24. So
Okay, x squared plus 12x plus 36 equals 12. And then you got to subtract 12 from both sides, right? And so then I have x squared plus 12x. Let's see, what's 36 minus 12?
24.
Thank you. Plus 24 equals 0. Now I got to do the quadratic formula. X equals negative b, which is negative 12, plus and minus the square root of b squared, which is 144, minus 4 times 1 times 24, all over 2. And then I got to simplify that. So my point is that's a really long way. This way, I think, is faster. Each person has to decide for themselves, but this isn't wrong. But now I gotta I'm not even done. I gotta simplify that. So your way was good, but not super fast. I encourage you to know this way because I think it's faster. All right, to prove that, I will try to solve this next one with the quadratic formula. You guys do it the short way. Ready? Everybody try this one. X minus 9, parentheses, squared, equals 5. I really wish I could do it the way you're going to do it. Oh man, I gotta do 18 squared. 20. 324. I'm not even done yet. How many of you guys are done already? Okay. Do you see my point? B squared minus 4 times A, which is 1 times 76. I'm going to have to do 4 times 76. And then I'm going to have to, yeah, so my point, it's a lot faster to do it that other way. Can you guys tell me what you got? 9 plus or minus, what? Square root of 5. So I'll show that real quick off to the side here. X minus 9 squared equals 5. I'm going to square root. Absolute value of x minus 9 equals square root of 5. Then I'm going to split it into 2. X minus 9 equals square root of 5. X minus 9 equals negative square root of 5. And then I'm going to add 9. And I can just jump right to the answer here. I can say it's 9 plus n minus root 5. Yay. Okay. Whew. So there, you've seen away. How many of you feel like you got that one mastered now? Okay, good. Now that beep, I'm pretty sure that was not it. Hold on a second. I'm going to pause for a second. Turns out that was it. So we just worked on top 20 today. I encourage you to start thinking about taking some practice top 20s at home. There's 5 versions. I am not assigning one because I want you to just enjoy a weekend off. But if you get bored, go to a top 20 and check it with a key. Have a great day. It's even better if you can get paid to do that. That's amazing.